So that happened, right? I pride myself as a professional, here at OddsChecker, but holy shit, what a day of soccer. And no one better to join me to break it all down and look forward to what we got coming tomorrow is Martino Puccio. Martino, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but there's no way tomorrow can be better, right?
Nah, right? No, I mean, listen, we keep on saying that almost every single round, and the tournament
Yeah.
keeps outdoing itself. I mean, we just saw the greatest free kick in World Cup history in the dying moments, and then we go to penalties, and then we see the main favorite knocked out by a team that nobody, including myself, even saw winning. So I thought it was really tremendous to just see this type of influence in terms of energy in a match like this, where so many Americans are watching and tuning in for the first.
Sorry about that, little technical issues. Our computers are watching the game as well. They're excited. Martino, as we were saying, holy shit, great soccer. I mean, tremendous day, right?
Yeah, tremendous. I think on all fronts, like, despite
Mm,
losing some of the Brazil stuff that we advised, but just like the overall sheer like proof that despite what we see sometimes in tournaments and pro sports, right,
mhm.
that anybody could win. Anybody can win in
Yeah.
this sport. All you have to do is just play hard enough, keep it close enough, and your moment might be there. And I mean, we saw it with Croatia, and we saw some stunning goals that you thought like when they were scored that team would win. Brazil and Netherlands
Mhm.
scoring those goals,
Yeah.
like you would have thought like there's no chance. Neymar ties Pele. He's obviously going to lead Brazil to the semifinals. The Netherlands just completed an epic comeback in the dying moments of stoppage time with one of the greatest free kicks that you will ever see in terms of
Mm.
innovation, and yet both lose. And they both lost on penalties. And that is why this sport is so damn beautiful, and that's why it's the most popular in the world.
Yeah, it's a brutal day for some, glorious day for others. I'll say it, me included. Let's start with the game we just started. I mean, we've talked about it a little bit.
Yep.
This this game was a mess, right? Like everything about it. Argentina looked really good in this game. We talked about, this game might be a little more open than that Australia one. Argentina really did look like a solid team. I think Netherlands didn't have a shot until like the 80th minute. But when that shot came, it was pretty good. And obviously, like you said, they tied it up 2 goals in the last 25 minutes, I believe. I mean, we got to talk about, what no one wants to talk about after a game. The referees, 10 minutes
Oh.
added. And of course, we got a brawl, right? That was pretty cool,
Uh,
too.
yeah, I don't know how some players weren't sent off. The,
Yeah.
the refereeing was truly terrible. It was one of the worst I've seen in a very long time.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I mean, everything transpired that we thought would transpire. I mean, just like listen, over 2.5 hits, both teams to score. Yes, and even yourself. Argentina on penalties, Messi anytime goal, a draw in regulation, and on top of
Look, I'll
it,
say.
and on top of it, I was live betting this game too. I live bet. I
Okay.
tossed $5 plus 600 on the draw when it was 2-1, just
Uh-huh.
because. And that one hit, and then I'm like, okay, under half a goal in extra time. That hit,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like minus 135. And then I took Argentina in penalties during extra time though, because I thought might as well, if this is going to be scoreless, then it's going to
Mm-hmm.
penalties. Got to stick with my guns again with Argentina with the, that are my winner. So that hit plus 190. Honestly, just night and day from what happened earlier in the day. But
Yeah.
I'm patting myself on the back for this one because my goodness, the mental resolve that Argentina has. If you've been following
Mhm.
Messi, if you've been following Argentina over the past 10 years, since I'd say, I don't know, he's been the best player in the world since 2008, 2009. You've been watching him closely, and you've seen the lowest of the lows when it comes to
Mhm.
penalties. And a lot of Argentina fans, I'm sure they were looking back in the past where they blow a lead like this, then it has to go to penalties and they have to step up. I have to say, the way Messi took his penalties today was perfect. He has
Mhm.
to take them like that all the time with confidence. And again, hopefully Lautaro Martinez is different now after scoring the winning penalty.
Hey.
That's the type of thing that gets your life turned around, let alone
Mhm.
just, your overall morale for the tournament. Argentina, wow. And now the path and the futures drastically change after today.
Mhm. Yeah, there was, the move was jump on Argentina before their game against Netherlands. And, the path is still there, like you mentioned. Croatia's a tough team. And, you can make an argument that part of Argentina is like, okay, we've played Brazil before. We beat them kind of recently.
Mm.
So we have a, quote unquote, a little more of a playbook. But also you look at that Brazilian side and you're like, okay, there's no way that's sound logic, right? I mean, that Brazilian team was that good. But look, we'll take our victory lap here. I'll go a perfect 3-0 on this game. You went 2-0 before the game and hit those live bets.
Yeah.
I could sit here and lie to you and tell you that I also would have taken Argentina live. Um, but as an Argentina fan, I had seen this film before. I didn't exactly enjoy the ending most of the times, so I
Mhm.
advised all my friends to take Netherlands live. I'm not going to lie to you, but hey, don't hold me to that. Regardless, Argentina does move on. They will take on Croatia, who ended up beating Brazil in the
Mm.
stunner of the day. I mean, you talk about it. Neymar scores that goal, and you're like, all right, this game is over.
Um,
Hell of a game by Croatia, but it's over, right? And then, damn, I mean that is probably pound for pound the best just set of penalties I have ever seen from keeper to takers from the Croatian side.
I mean, again, well, back to back, they've done this before, huh? And this is why I
Yeah.
said, listen, hey, went and lost these for regulation, but we did give out the advice saying if you chose to
Mm,
go with Croatia, it would be an extra time or penalties, and lo and behold,
mm,
look what happened. And again, this is just the type of match that they just want to grind it out. I think Tite subbing out Vinicius Jr. was incredibly poor. I think that
mhm.
decision with so much time left was, I think, subpar. Neymar doing everything he could have for Brazil.
Yeah.
Seriously, I don't know what else you could have asked from him. He tied Pele. He puts them ahead. They have to do their job. They simply
Mhm,
have to do their job. And Croatia's mental fortitude and strength, like, they have to be the toughest out of any team left in this competition. I know I just
mhm.
praised Argentina for it, but how many times are we going to look at Croatia now and say this? I mean, again, I didn't want to disrespect them, but I didn't see this happening. I thought Brazil were too good. I thought they had every opportunity in front of them in order to close the door on this. They just weren't clinical enough, and it was shocking, to be honest with you. It was just way too poor from them, and now they have a lot of question marks ahead because this has been one
Mhm.
of the longest gaps in between World Cups in Brazilian history. I mean, it was from 1970 to 1994. By the way, just some narratives for the future.
Mhm.
Brazil, 24-year gap in between World Cups. 1970, they win it. They don't win again until 1994. That tournament is played where? In the United States. 2002, Brazil wins their
Mm.
tournament. They haven't played and or won it since 2002. 24 years in 2026. It will be in the U.S. So I hope to God I don't have to relive Italy losing to penalties to Brazil in the final. But that's just a narrative fun fact for you. But my goodness, Croatia, man.
I
I mean,
mean,
you take
if
it
you want to
away.
go on, if you want to go on a narrative fun fact, I think Brazil has now lost in the quarterfinals 4 of the last 5 tournaments. If you want to jump on that, you probably get some pretty good odds on that as well. I think you summed it up perfectly. Look, it wasn't a nice betting day for us on that first game, but you got to give the credit in the world to Croatia. And like there's no shot that Neymar's ankle is 100%. I mean, you saw the way that thing ballooned there. That is a 2 to 3 week injury. You're usually seeing an NFL player miss 2 to 3 games with that injury. And he had himself a fantastic game. And again, this seems like just the trend of the tournament. And it's not exactly a hot take. This is kind of how soccer or football works with. When you have kind of that David and Goliath type matchup, you have
Yep.
to take advantage of your opportunities when you have them because all of a sudden they're going to go away. But
Yeah.
what a couple of games. And if you enjoyed today, I have 2 pieces of good news for you. Actually, I have 3 pieces of good news for you. One, it's that OddsChecker is giving away $500 on YouTube just for subscribing and for commenting on any video. So tell a friend too, because you don't want any friends to miss out on $500 as well. We're also giving away $100 every single day on our Instagram page. All you have to do is follow us on Instagram, like the post, and comment and tag a friend so that they can have a chance too. Because again, if you don't win one day, you can win the next day. Again, $100 every single day. How's that for a segue, right? Now, the other 2 pieces of good news for tomorrow. One, it's that we have 2 fantastic games on tap. The second one is that if you thought you knew what was going to happen today and you were shocked, wait until you see the 2 games we're going to have tomorrow. We'll start with the 10 a.m. game. It's Morocco and it's Portugal. Obviously, the storylines around this has been the potential for Morocco, the first African team to ever make the semifinals. They're the first one in the quarterfinals since 2010. We've talked about Ghana. And of course, Portugal sitting Cristiano Ronaldo and just destroying Switzerland. So what is the first thing you're kind of looking at in this game? I see you like some goals to be scored here.
Yeah, I think the safest way to go here is goals. Again, Morocco, a lot of people like to say that they've been grinding out matches, and rightfully so, and they're capable of doing that. But the difference is that they create chances, and there were chances in many of the games that they played. And the same goes for Portugal now, especially if they ride with that lineup. That's the whole thing at this point. In my estimation, in my logic, I'm saying that Portugal sits Cristiano Ronaldo. But again, we don't know. We truly don't know. Everything is pointing in the direction that he will not be starting again. I think he's kind of slowly accepted it, because when you beat Switzerland like that 6-1, and the one trophy that's truly missing from Cristiano Ronaldo's cabinet is that World Cup, regardless if he's a key factor in this, he wants that. And I think he's going to be able to do what he can to sacrifice that. I think he accepts that role as a player. But then again, it could be all wrong, and he starts tomorrow. I think you just got to go by the lineup. And for me, regardless if he starts or not, I do see goals here. Both teams to score, yes, I'm a little bit hesitant on it. I am leaning towards that direction, though, because I'm just respecting Morocco at this point. But in general, the firepower that Portugal can bring with this new attack, this new formation, I envision goals happening. And a couple of them were at plus money, too.
Yeah, we had also, according to DraftKings, 71% of the bets coming in on Portugal, 73% of the handle. They also got 84% of the bets to advance in general. By the way, if you're wondering for Brazil, 84% of the handle, 87% both handle and bets to advance in general. Me personally, I'm done counting out Morocco at this point. I've seen enough. We talked about it. This is a genuinely good team. This is not just a crazy Cinderella run. I like both teams to score. I mean, basically, when do I not? Honestly, I kind of like Portugal to score first in this one. I think just the pure firepower, I think they'll probably be able to get on the board first. But I'm ready to stop discounting Morocco. I mean, this is a good team, and we should see a really nice match tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also think, by the way, a little different than what I envisioned with Croatia. I do think Morocco could win. They have the potential to win this in 90 minutes. This isn't something that they need to drag out to extra time. And even then, you like the confidence of how their goalkeeper is playing. So at the same time, you have that to ride off of. But to be honest with you, I do see Portugal edging this out. But again, there's so many different things. Again, if you're confident on Portugal all the way, there's always the live betting. Live betting in knockout football, it can be so generous, especially if you trust your instincts, seriously, because at the same time, you're really looking at certain situations where I do see this one ending actually in extra time as well. I do think goals can be scored in that one. These teams are not going to be stopping. And Portugal has the depth for this too. We're talking about Cristiano Ronaldo to come off the bench, and even looking at anytime goal scorer markets for Cristiano as well. They're going to be dropping. Again, he gets on the pitch, there's a penalty, Cristiano's taking it. There's no doubt about it. We talked about it. That's how he scored his goal earlier in the tournament. You could do methods to score as well. I totally think this is something that you could see Portugal and Cristiano.
So one of the two games out of the way, the second one, France and England. Yeah, two of some of the top teams in this tournament. I mean, there is no doubt that we are going to see some fireworks in this game. Martino, we both like the same bet here. I'll let you go first.
Yeah, I like both teams to score in this one. I think they both match up really well in terms of
Hmm.
formation. I think, again, England has the advantage in the midfield. They should be able to take advantage of it. For me, though, still, France still has quality players. They have them out wide as well. Teo Hernandez is that type of fullback that likes to push forward. We know England like to use wingbacks as well. There have been some rumors that Gareth Southgate is trying to do something a little different. Who knows if that means a Trent Alexander-Arnold feature here? This is still one of the best fullbacks in the world. So again, I think just like on the side, okay, if that possibility were to happen, you could look at something anytime assist for Trent or anytime
Yep.
goal scorer. That's really someone who has that capability. And if the rumors are true, but again, we look for lineups. And again, for me, I love the triple money line in this match. I do think this could
Mm.
easily end in the 90 minutes. I don't think this necessarily has to go to extra time or penalties for it to be decided. I really do believe that. And we've seen it. I'm a little bit more hesitant in the Morocco type of match or even in
Hmm.
Argentina where I was hesitant on the triple money line finish. This one could easily see a winner. Again, I'm not betting against Mbappe and how well he's been playing and how well his
Yep.
teammates have been playing. England has been really good. But can you make the argument that they've had a little bit of a weaker schedule? Yeah, I think
Yep.
you could say that as well. But they take advantage of that. But can they reach
Mhm.
this next level? Because they've made it deep into tournaments before, but you could also argue they've had some favorable matchups. For me, I do love France here. I think you could parlay it over. I think both teams to score. And again, you're looking in the plus 400 range if you take them
Mhm.
on both teams to score and then the money line. And then you could also do the same if you'd like the over 2.5. There's so many
Yep.
different things that you could parlay in this situation. Or straight up, if you like England, you don't know how it's going to go. I think probably the best bet is England advancing to qualify for the
Mm.
next round. I think that might be one of the better ones. You don't want to dance with the devil when it comes to England and penalties. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, you don't want to really touch France to lose within 90 minutes, honestly. I think they've just been too good. I don't
Yeah.
think that happens. But I agree with everything you said. I think that regardless of how good these two sides are up and down the pitch, I think both teams are going to score. Whenever you get both teams scoring, you're right there for over 2.5, regardless of
It's
when
true.
it comes. And look, I mean, Mbappe's numbers, fluctuate from market to market, but you're talking about a game between two of the best teams, and he's the best player on the pitch. Um, the chances are going to be there for him. I also wouldn't count out, Giroud scoring if we see a
Mm.
heavy feature of him. There's a lot of attention, and Giroud could be that guy that kind of falls through, and you don't exactly look at all too much. If you're curious where the public is siding, DraftKings has 71% of the bets going to France and 76% for them to advance in general. So not quite as heavy as Portugal, Morocco, but still a heavy favorite for France. Before I let you go, Martino, any last thoughts on these two games?
Put in your futures now.
Yep.
Seriously.
It's now or never.
Because I'll tell you what, honestly, like if France advances here, I think they drastically shoot up.
Mm.
And if we're looking at France kind of in that plus money in a quarterfinal match, that means they might have some value still in the future market.
Mm-hmm.
But if they advance here, we're talking about revenge in 2016 in the semifinal, or they face Morocco. And then they go their path. I think they're better than anyone on the other side of it.
Mm.
I think if you want to place a future on France, probably now is the best time for value. Again, it could have shrunk after today. It did.
Yeah.
But again, prior to this, I think you jump on France now if you like it.
Mm-hmm. And if you listened to us last week and you took France and Argentina to meet in the finals, you're welcome. Martino, always a pleasure. I will talk to you tomorrow, same time, same place, as we discuss these two awesome matchups and take a look at what's coming up soon. Talk to you then.